All right, so we got UFC Fight Night Saudi Arabia. Exciting first good card in quite a few weeks. We got Whittaker versus Aliskerov now with Hamzat out with the illness. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. So just quickly running over last week's picks. Did kind of terrible, decent on the prelims, shit on the main card. It was trending nicely on the prelims. Saw it go 4-1. I was like, hey, not bad. And then, obviously the main card kind of fell apart. Would like to add that I did say that Weston Wilson had a shot at a sub, and he obviously did end up getting that done by sub, but I didn't pick that, so I don't get credit. Just wanted to point it out. Obviously the all-time got 14 and 11, 56%. Not bad. So a good main card, man. Like, it's almost straight off like a pay-per-view, minus the title fight, obviously, but, we got a good fight at the top here, so let's get into it. Whittaker versus Aliskerov. Okay, so I think the adjustment of location for Aliskerov is going to play a big part here. I mean, he was meaning to be fighting last weekend against Tricoli, who will come up about later, but that was in Vegas, so I think, what did he have? Probably like a week and a half to get to Saudi Arabia and ready for the fight. That's not a lot of time to get ready. I think that's going to play a factor. Even if this was like a full camp, both preparing for each other, knowing where the location was, I think I'd probably still go Whittaker, like at this point. Possibly not in the future, once I see a bit more of Aliskerov and Whittaker perhaps gets a bit more old. Obviously he's 33, he's not old, but fight years. Had a lot of experience. So, yeah, I think Rob's going to get it done by decision. I think it's going to... it's hard to say with Aliskerov, right? But I think it is going to go the full distance. I think Whittaker is elusive enough to get away from him. I think that'll be it. This next fight's super interesting to me. Pavlovich versus Volkov. You got like the human wrecking ball that is Pavlovich. Obviously, you saw him get knocked out by Aspinall last time out, but what can you do? Aspinall's great. Curtis Blades, Tuivasa Lewis, and Abdu Rakimov wins. Good. Volkov, obviously with that win against Tuivasa last time out. And then, as you can see, they both lost to Tom Aspinall recently anyway. Super interesting. I think the thing is, it's got potential to go either way, but I think whichever way it goes, it's not going to look close. Obviously, we've seen Volkov get knocked out by Derek Lewis, and things I've heard in the media that don't fill me with joy. Today I was listening to something, and I heard that Volkov was talking about sparring with Pavlovich because they have been sparring partners in the past. And Volkov was saying about Pavlovich that he felt his power and he felt his legs go numb or felt like he was going to collapse. Now, this is not something I really want to be hearing from a man that's going to be locked into a cage with this guy that he's speaking about, and it's not sparring in the cage. And I don't see this being one of those fights where it's like all sparring partners taking it easy on each other. Pavlovich is a killer, and so is Volkov. So they're going to go for it, and I think Pavlovich is going to clip him. I think Volkov's best chance of winning is probably in the grappling, but I think Pavlovich will be able to neutralise any of that relatively easily. Other than getting knocked down or something, or knocked off balance, I don't see him getting like flat out taken down. So yeah, in saying that, awesome fight, going to be super interesting. But I'm going to go Pavlovich by knockout in the first round. I think he's just going to clip him. Gastelum Rodriguez, gone back and forth on this one, much like, I didn't really say, but the last one I kind of went back and forth on during the week. But this one I definitely did as well. I think I'm going to go D-Rod by decision, which is like a pretty not unpopular, but like I feel like it's not necessarily the bait pick, the one that everyone's going to go for. The main reasons I think Rodriguez's boxing in particular is cleaner than Gastelum's. Rodriguez is like almost going to be like, obviously physically going to be big, taller and longer reach, but I think they're going to be a similar size. It's not like Gastelum's a huge middleweight coming down. Obviously he's had a few fights one fight at welterweight now, against Sean Brady, but I don't think that's going to play a huge factor. And I think Gastelum's going to try and stand and trade with him, because I feel like Gastelum definitely has the grappling advantage or wrestling advantage. but I feel like he'll only go to that if he's like getting dominated. I don't think D-Rod's going to dominate him. I think it's going to be a close fight. Gaslam's going to feel like he's winning, but D-Rod's just going to be outpointing him on the feet or just slightly out damaging him, not necessarily to a point where Gaslam has to go to his wrestling though. So yeah, I think D-Rod by decision. Right, Sharabutin Magomedov versus Antonio Tricoli, who was meant to fight Ikram. I'm pretty sure that's right anyway. Sharabutin, he's had a couple of opponents this week. This is, well, as of today and as of now recording this is his opponent for the weekend. I'm pretty sure this will end up being who he fights. I'd be seriously surprised if he gets another opponent. Tricoli, he's huge. I didn't realise how big he was until I did that research on him. But I don't think that's going to make a difference. The short notice thing especially is making me not even question. I think Magomedov knockout. I think get done the first round. I think Tricoli realises what he's here for. Here to showcase Magomedov. Good of him to step in, probably getting a bag. But yeah, I think I would have picked Shara anyway, even if it wasn't a short notice for Tricoli. But yeah. Then we're moving on to the last fight in the main card. Walker versus Ozdemir. I like this fight a lot. I think it's a good fight. I think Walker will definitely get his chances early, but I think Volkan's just a wee bit. Volkan Ozdemir, is a wee bit too defensively responsible to get caught by Walker's, I would just say, crazy shit, because that's pretty much what he throws. I think that loss to Ankalaev, obviously the no contest in Abu Dhabi, was unfortunate. And then the loss was quite telling. It wasn't a pretty loss. I hope it isn't, because it would make for a bad fight, but I think Walker's confidence may be a bit shot by that. I hope it doesn't, but it could leave him hesitant, and I think Ozdemir can crack, man. Like, if he touches Walker's chin, we've seen Walker go down on a couple of occasions now. I think if Ozdemir can get in there and touch his chin, I think he's going to go down. So yeah, I'm going to say Ozdemir by knockout in the third round. Not necessarily like a popular pick. I feel like Johnny Walker getting a highlight real KO would be more fun, but Ozdemir's a solid man, and I think he can take advantage of Walker here. Yeah, so that's the main card done. So we move on to the prelims. Nasrat Haqparast and Jared Gordon. Both these guys are low-key solid, man. Like, if they win the lightweight division, they'd be not high, well, they're not ranked, but like they would be like closer to the outside of the rankings, if you know what I mean. Like, I think they're both pretty underrated. Gordon obviously had that real close fight with Paddy. Yeah, I mean, probably won it. The judges obviously didn't give it to him, but I think everyone agrees he probably won that fight. Yeah, but Nasrat isn't bad. I think a common opponent of this is Bobby Green. I'm pretty sure. I know that Jared Gordon Bobby Green fight ended with the accidental headbutt. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Bobby beat Nasrat as well. Anyway, I think Nasrat's got the upper hand. I think he's got a bit of boxing, bit of power, and I think his takedown defense will hold up against Jared Gordon. Yeah, so in saying that, I think Nasrat's going to outpoint, not necessarily outpoint him, not going to be boring, but maybe. But I think Nasrat will win by decision. Anyway, I think he's going to maybe like a 29-28, two 29-28s and a 30-27. It's going to be a close-ish fight, but I think Nasrat's definitely going to get it done. Then we got Muhammad Naimov versus Felipe Lima. I feel like I should have seen a lot of Naimov, but I haven't. Looking at his record, he's got like wins against Malaki and Nathaniel Wood. Felipe Lima's coming up from bantamweight here, up to featherweight, and Naimov had a fight against Malaki at lightweight and got a win. I like that a lot. I think that size is going to play a factor, and I think, as it says there, I think Naimov going to win by decision. I don't know, I just like it. This next one, Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Nicholas Dolby. Dolby obviously got that win over Bonfim in Brazil, and this is kind of like my underdog of the card. Like, it's a fairly sizable. I've picked a couple of others, but this is a fairly sizable one. Yeah, I think Dolby's going to weather an early storm because I think Renat's going to go in there thinking he can get him out of there. Um, and I think I'm going to go 29-28 Dolby. I reckon he's going to get done by decision. I don't know, just something tells me. I feel like Renat's going to blow himself out in the first round and not have the cardio. Well, he does have good cardio there, but I just feel like Dolby's going to come on strong and win round 2 and 3. Um, yeah, it's just a take I've got. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Renat win, though. He's got good wins against guys like Kevin Lee and Brian Battle, like solid guys. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a vibes pick, but I do think Dolby can definitely get it done. Um, Kyung Ho Kang and Moin Gafarov. Both these guys aren't that great, to be honest. I don't know a lot about either of them, but I know they're not awesome. I'm going to go Kang because Gafarov's coming off a 2-fight losing streak. Also, Kang has a 5-inch, I think, reach advantage. I just reckon he's going to get it done. I reckon Kang's going to get it done by decision. This is probably like my least confident pick on the card. But yeah, I just reckon he's going to get it done. I think Magomed in the next fight is going to get it done by knockout. He's undefeated and pretty dangerous. This could go either way. Ribeiro is also pretty finish heavy as a fighter. All of his wins, I think he's like 16-8 or something. That might be a bit wrong, but I think that might be what it is. Anyway, all of his wins have come by finish, and only one of his losses have gone to decision. So he's only been the distance once in his pro MMA career. And I think Magomed's just going to have a bit much from here. Obviously, Magomed's a fairly sizable favourite there. But yeah, I think he's going to knock him out. I reckon first round. Yeah, quick fight. Both finishes. And then the last fight on the first fight of the night, but the last fight on the prelims here. I think Long versus Lee. So I think Lee is a better prospect. Both guys are coming off the Road to UFC program. Lee has a little bit, quite a few less fights overall in his pro career, but I don't know. I just feel like he's got a lot more finishes on his record, like in relativity to how many fights he's got. I think Xiao Long has had a couple more subs, or like more equal subs to knockouts, but Chang Ho Lee's more of a knockout fighter. So yeah, I think a late round 2, sometime in round 3 KO for Chang Ho Lee is the most likely outcome here. Yeah, so overall, unlike the last couple of weeks, this card is actually worth watching. The last couple of weeks, I think last week the only fight that was really worth watching was the main event, Tyra vs Perez, and the week before that, Canada vs Imavov. There's a couple of good fights on there, but it wasn't that great. As I mentioned earlier, the main card almost looks like a pay-per-view main card minus the title fight. And the prelims are pretty solid too, like they're not bad prelims. And a nice 11 fights overall to make it nice and digestible rather than being like a big 15 fight slog or something. So it's not going to take all day. I think it's an early start. Here in New Zealand, it's like a 4 a.m. start or something. I'll probably get up a bit later and watch it back. But yeah, I got Whittaker over Aliskerov. Love to hear what you guys have got. Yeah. So yeah, if you can, if you got this far, drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for. Obviously, we got 303 coming up next week. Pay-per-view Pereira versus Prohaska. It's going to be a good one. It's a shame it's not McGregor, but yeah. Anyway, cheers.